Hi, I'm Senator Malcolm Roberts and I'm in Rockhampton about to fly back to Brisbane. On Tuesday of this week, I was at the Townsville hearing into the family law inquiry and it was shocking. Some of the things we heard were just so disturbing. The Townsville inquiry confirmed, and I'm going to write off notes that I summarised later on, a couple of days later in Mackay, but the Townsville hearing from the witnesses confirmed so much of what we know about the family law atrocities. First of all, it's been devastating to families and to individuals. And here are some of the key points. Men and women use opportunities within the family law court system, the whole process, to enable lawyers to make money. And it's become very, very costly, ineffective, and, well, the decisions are not really valid at all, and they're doing very much damage. The use of DVOs, domestic violence orders, as weapons is quite clear. A number of witnesses gave us that in camera with personal stories, which I'm not going to divulge because they're in camera, and also publicly from some of the people, from at least two of the witnesses on Tuesday. There is a lot of lies being told, perjury being committed, and sometimes we've heard stories anecdotally that sometimes the judges know about these lies and perjury and do nothing. It's a very slow and costly process, very costly. Mediation quite often is a much, much better alternative. The inquisitorial system of getting information where the judge inquires about both sides of a case would seem to be much more suitable to this than the current adversarial system where one side is pitted against the other. Children are just being devastated. They're being affected in many areas. And the care that people have at the same time, and the other side of this is that the care people have for their kids and grandkids is just stunning to see. The care is inbuilt in humans. And so the family law system actually puts that care aside and encourages parents to use it as a way of punishing people, and the kids are the meat in the sandwich. But grandparents, individual parents, their care shines through at times. It's also not just about today. We heard some witnesses talking about this being multi-generational, and they're correct. One of the witnesses in particular, and we've heard this from other people, was a victim as a child of the family law system. And now, as a parent, she's going through all kinds of problems. I mean, it's devastating to hear some of the stories. There's a lot of emotion involved, and when humans have emotion involved, sometimes the thinking processes don't work properly, don't work logically, don't work honestly. And that point was made by Tanya Murdoch, who gave an outstanding presentation and answered questions really well on Tuesday. Mental health issues are devastating. They're being created and they're being exacerbated. It affects people's work because whether someone going through the process is employed on salary or wages or has his or her own business, they have to put so much of that aside, miss work, skip work, just to comply with some of the preparation for this process in the family law. It's extraordinary. And if there's extra overtime, then some of that is lost, a lot of that is lost by the person earning that overtime to pay for maintenance. So what's keeping you and the kids going quite often becomes the choice, becomes the criteria. I mean, people really are quite devastated and broken. They're fragile and very sensitive to job and life variations. Property settlements are complex. Decisions are clouded. That was made repeatedly in instances given. Money should go to the kids, as one person said, not to lawyers. Now, Pauline has been phenomenal in championing this for many years because she's understood. She's listened to both men and women. She knows it's not a gender issue. It's a human issue. It's a male and female issue and a kids issue. And you can add then to all this devastation, drugs, tax, poor governance in this country. Now, Pauline will see this through. I must commend the chairman of the inquiry. What I saw of Kevin Andrews, the Liberal MP, was fantastic. He gave everyone a fair hearing. He has himself some ideas that he tested. I believe he's totally committed. And I know Pauline is, and I am. I've got other duties, but I know Pauline will see this right the way through. And I'm sure now that all you people out there, men and women, and especially kids, who have been devastated by this, all you want is justice. and you want someone to you want to prevent other people going through this misery, this horror, this nightmare. And I'm convinced that Pauline and Kevin Andrews and the other members of the committee who are open will see this through and give us some really solid foundation for making solutions, long-term solutions to this.